afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So we thought we'd do over the next couple of weeks, take a look at our Disney World maps again, our newer Disney World maps again, and just kind of go over some of the things that we like to do in each park, some of the things that are like kind of our favorites to do.
And some of the things we maybe haven't done or want to do.
Yeah, some of the things we want to do and haven't yet, and different things like that.
I'm calling this the tour around the park.
The tour around the park?
Yeah. Yeah, because we're going to take a tour around the park. And,
more or less, yeah.
and kind of go over it. And
Yeah.
I think that's a perfect name for it, okay?
Sure. So, like in our 16-year differences videos, we are starting in Animal Kingdom. We'll do that one first. And we will be looking at the map. We won't look at the map again in the video, but we will be using the map because while my memory may be good, it's not that good. So,
You don't have a photographic memory
I-
and can memorize exactly where everything is?
nope. Are you kidding? I got lost in Animal Kingdom. I had no idea where I was in Animal Kingdom.
We had a hard time in Animal Kingdom, honestly.
It is real rough. But yeah, so let's start up here in... I mean, there's not much towards the front.
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
just the
kind of the
entrance.
Oasis area, which is has the Oasis exhibits. The Rainforest Cafe is up there, which is out in front of the entrance.
edge, yeah. Oh, it's right here. I guess
Yeah, it's right here where number 2 is. And then the Garden Gate Gifts, which is just one of the gift shops.
Yep.
That's right inside there. Rainforest Cafe. We ate at Rainforest Cafe, but not this one. We ate at the one in Disney Springs. Yeah, which I think is the same one that I ate at with my parents in 2003. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so the next step, if you go straight up from there, is going to be Discovery Island. That's going to be the first place that you can get to.
I was going to say, you have no choice but to go to Discovery
you have to go to
Island.
Discovery Island first, and then go out from there, because it's Disney's normal spoke and wheel and spoke thing.
Except for that there's a giant river that goes through it.
Yes,
So,
the Discovery River. Yep. So what do we have up in Discovery Island?
Wilderness Explorers, which we haven't done. That's in every park. There's kind of like a scavenger hunt-esque thing for kids.
Yeah.
So in Animal Kingdom, it's the Wilderness Explorers. Epcot's changing. It's going to be the DuckTales.
Oh yeah,
thing.
it was Agent P's adventure thing, and then yeah.
Now it's going to be DuckTales. Magic Kingdom, it's Sorcerers
And we have Sorcerers, and then they have the Pirates Adventure.
and Pirates.
That one's just around Adventureland, though.
And then what's the other park? What park?
Hollywood Studios.
Hollywood Studios. What do they have? I mean, I know they have to have something in Hollywood Studios. I just don't know what it is
Possibly, but I don't know what it would be.
because we don't do a lot.
We don't spend a lot of time in Animal Kingdom or Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, I think I've seen more of the Wilderness Explorers things than I've seen of any of the other stuff, though.
Well, yeah, with the exception of
The Pirates
Sorcerers.
and Pirates, because we've
Yeah, we did. We
all the
completed
maps.
Pirates.
Yeah, so it's tough to be a bug is up in Discovery Island, which we haven't done.
No, and it's kind of up in the air on whether we want to. I mean, we might do it anyway at some point, just
So we can say
so
we
that
did
we
it.
have done it. We can see what it's like, but it's not high on our to-do list.
No. Then there's the Discovery Island trails, which we've done some of those because that's where we met like Pocahontas and things like that. So those
Yeah,
are kind of
because
good
it goes
things.
down by the Tree of Life down there.
Yeah, so those are kind of fun to take because you can see animals down there because they have some of the small like cages with like the monkeys and things like that. And then you can also meet Pocahontas down in there, and she's like off on this random trail, so you really
she's always
gotta.
off on one of those random off-shooting trails, so she never has a line pretty much because nobody ever knows that she's actually there or when she's there.
Yeah.
We just kind of happen to walk down there at the right time.
Exactly, and then
So.
there's Mickey and Minnie is there.
Oh, the Adventurers Outpost.
Yep. So you can see Mickey and Minnie.
Yeah, and they're in their adorable safari outfits. Those are fun.
And then there's a cafe.
Yep, 8 Spoon Cafe. The Smiling Crocodile. Warm sandwiches, soda, and beer. We haven't eaten at either of those or the Flame Tree Barbecue.
Which
is
Flame
nice.
Tree Barbecue is like highly recommended and rated. We've just never
We just haven't gotten
had
to
the
it.
chance to do it.
Generally, we're not in, at least in our last few trips, well, in any of our last trips, we haven't been in Animal Kingdom long enough to really do much of anything. Like we stopped for like a quick lunch just wherever we happened to be.
Right.
Which was never around Flame Tree Barbecue.
No, we're usually off in like Africa or something.
We were in Dino Land for one of them.
Yeah,
actually, I think it's in Dino Land every time.
The only time that we haven't ate at Dino Land was when we ate at Pizzafari.
Right. Yeah, that was the one reservation that I made. That was our first trip. Tiffin's restaurant is next. That was one that we would like to do,
and that's another one that's like highly recommended.
And it's a table service, right? Yeah,
it is table service.
And it's a little nicer. We've seen some videos of it, and it's really nice on the inside. So we do want to do that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's all for Discovery Island. And then it moves on to Pandora, the World of Avatar, which if you're looking at the map, moves clockwise to the bottom left corner.
Yeah.
That one you have Na'vi River Journey, which we actually really enjoy.
Yes.
It is very pretty.
A lot of people say it's not worth a fast pass. Like if you have the choice between Na'vi River Journey and Flight of Passage, everybody says to do Flight of Passage. We haven't done Flight of Passage.
Yeah. And it could be possible that yes, that would be more worth it, but
for us it's not.
Na'vi River Journey is worth a fast pass.
Yeah,
it really is.
Like Aiden can't ride Flight of Passage, but he really likes Na'vi River Journey.
Yeah, because there's lots of bright colors and stuff for the little ones to look at, and so then especially the last time we went, he was just looking around at them.
Oh yeah, he loved it.
And
so I think
she loves it, and she's never actually seen the movie up to this point.
I haven't. And
it's one of the ones we need to watch.
I think it really just depends on your age group and what you got going. I have honestly no interest in Flight of Passage, which is the next on the list, and so I'm not too concerned with it, but I also have really bad motion sickness, so I worry about the VR in there, because it's hit or miss. Some people are like, oh yeah, I was totally fine, and some people are like, nope.
Yeah. So that might be something that I do, just to see if she, because like with Mission Space, if she had actually done what I told her to.
I didn't listen.
Because I don't get motion sick that bad. Like I get it a little bit sometimes. It might be better for me to try, because then if I get a little motion sick from it, then she is definitely going to get motion sick, and then we can just not let her go on.
Mm-hmm.
But then I can have been on it and say, and then can speak to how good or mediocre or whatever it was.
Right.
But everybody that goes on it says that it is, even the ones that have gotten motion sick have said that it's amazing, but they got motion sick so they can't do it again.
Yeah. So.
And then the next after Flight of Passage is Pongu Pongu,
which is a highly rated snack thing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people say that there's some really good snacks there and stuff.
Yeah, because it's just a quick service snack thing.
Which again, we don't spend a lot of time in Animal Kingdom to eat, so we've not tried it. Same with.
And when we go over to Pandora, we go over there, we ride Flight of Passage, we kind of look around a little bit because it is really pretty over there, especially as it gets towards the evening and the lights start coming on, and then we leave.
Yeah, it's always really crowded in Pandora, because
we generally don't.
That's where everybody flocks, so we don't tend to stay around there.
Yeah, we got lucky on our last trip that it wasn't as crowded as it had been. It was still pretty crowded, but it wasn't as bad as
Was it our last trip, or was it? No, it was
our trip in April.
It was our trip in April when it was really calm, and we actually spent more time in there. On our last trip, we spent a lot of time in the gift shop because it was so baking hot outside that we just didn't want to leave.
We stood and watched the guy in the mech suit for a while. But
yeah.
And the next on the list is Satuli Canteen, which is another one that people are just rave about, and they say that the food is amazing there. And that's one that we'll have to try sometime, hopefully.
And then Wind Traders
is the gift shop. So the next one is part of Africa, which goes up to the, again, we're moving clockwise, it looks like, so it's up in the top left, northwest. Yep.
Which is where you can see a bunch of animals.
Yep, that's where the safari is, which is the second one on here. But the first one is Festival of the Lion King. Festival of the Lion King, we haven't done. I've seen half of it. Actually, 17 years ago.
That's why I said animals, because it's actually at the top there.
Oh, that's just because it's showing what animals are there.
I know.
But yeah, so the Festival of the Lion King is the first one. And I did it 17 years ago when I was there. Saw half of it. I don't remember any of it, but I saw it.
It's supposed to be just kind of like a little touch of the Broadway show, and
kind of.
And so, I mean, I'd be interested to watch it.
Yeah, it would be a lot of fun, especially because I love Broadway stuff, so it would be a lot of fun.
We don't tend to
but it's not something that we're going to, sacrifice, a bunch of other stuff to do, if we have time to get to it. Like, because our trip in December will be longer, so we should have time to get to it.
Yeah.
But if it's something that we didn't have time to get to, we wouldn't be heartbroken about it.
And I think that the reason we haven't done it, especially like our last trip before, was because of Aiden.
True.
Because he doesn't do great at sitting through shows.
He'll sit for like 10 minutes at most.
Yeah, and this is...
My goodness.
And this is
Those are going nuts over there.
a 30-minute show, and so
Yeah.
I don't think he'd sit for it.
And that's 30 minutes of just the actual show. That's not counting like
getting
in and getting
sitting
seated
down.
while waiting, and then waiting for everybody else to get seated.
Yeah, so I think it'd be hard on Aiden. So that's the big reason I think we don't do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Kilimanjaro Safaris, which actually is fairly high on our to-do list. We would we really want to do that.
The reason that we haven't thus far is because we usually do Animal Kingdom in the evening.
Yeah.
And so then we're like trying to rush to get all these.
Usually the evening that we get there, we spend a half day there.
Yeah, and so we're trying to rush to get to all these other things, and it just ends up at the bottom of the list because of that.
Yeah.
But at this next trip, I want to spend a little bit more time in Animal Kingdom, and that is like high on my list of we're going to do this. So.
Yeah, so the Gorilla Falls Exploration Show, we really enjoyed doing that actually. It was a nice walk, like it's really pretty.
Yeah.
There's a lot of animals to see.
And we like going to our local zoo, and so it's fun to see the animals and things like that, and just hike around and not be like in the throng of all the people too. It was pretty quiet on the trail, and you didn't see people a lot, so.
Yeah. Next up is Rafiki's Planet Watch, which we do want to do.
It had just reopened on our last trip.
Yeah.
And when we went to book fast passes, because they closed so early in the day, there were no fast passes that would have lined up with when we were getting there.
I think there was one available at like 3:30 in the afternoon or something like that. And we weren't even in the park until about 4 or 4:30.
Yeah, so we didn't end up doing that. But again,
we just hung out at the resort for a little while.
That's one that's on the top of my to-do list. Mm-hmm. So
it moves on to Asia. And this one, do you want to read the animal highlights?
Yeah.
Okay. Animal highlights.
Tigers.
Tigers.
Gibbon.
Mm-hmm.
Komodo dragons.
Mm-hmm.
Lion-tailed macaw.
No, a macaw would be a bird.
Oh.
It's a lion-tailed macaw. It's a monkey. And exotic birds. Yes, Anna hates birds. And there's the Maharaja Jungle Trek, which we actually did this last time.
Yeah, because we saw the Komodo dragon.
Yeah, we just walked. Yeah, we walked up and we were just like, "Hey, what's this?"
And that's where the tigers were, but they weren't like up where we could see them.
Yes, yeah. So that one was fun. It's just like the Gorilla Falls Trail. It's just a self-guided tour thing that you just walk around.
I really like that one because just the trail itself is really picturesque. They have a lot of. It's supposed to look like. Big like temples and stuff like that. It looks really beautiful. They have like the prayer flags hanging. It's so really like it's done really, really well, and it's really pretty.
And then the next one is Kali River Rapids, which I have done, but she is not.
No.
I did it the first time in 2003, and then I did it again. Wasn't this last trip?
No, it was the very first trip, and that was it.
Oh yeah, it was the first trip.
Because that was the only time. That's the only time we've actually been in Animal Kingdom early enough.
Because we did Hollywood Studios the first day on our first trip,
and
we did a whole day, or at least most of a day. Because I really like Kali River Rapids. It's really nice, and it's not a super scary. Like it does have like a drop. It's not like Splash Mountain status. It's not as steep, but still pretty fun. And you get a little wet. Yeah. Generally.
It's like It's like the ride at Elitch's.
Kind of.
The big, like, tube water rafting ride.
Kind of.
Okay, you need to say this really epically.
Okay.
Because look at how beautiful that name is. You gotta say it really epically.
Because it's Expedition Everest, Legend of the Forbidden Mountain. Was that epic enough?
No.
That's gonna have to do. That's her favorite ride.
It absolutely is. It's just such a good ride, and I've almost got Ryan convinced to ride it.
Well, it's not you convincing me. It's I see what I do when I'm weird. When there's something that I'm afraid of, like when I first got, or when I went to get both my tattoos. For whatever reason, when there's something that I'm kind of scared of, what kind of helps me get over it is watching it. So like in like this case, I was watching videos like that were like close-ups of tattoos and was like showing what's actually going on. And in the case of this, I've been watching like ride-throughs of Expedition Everest and trying to like just see with both like with it kind of lit up and with the lights off in the darker parts, just to work myself up and see if I can make it so that I might go on it. But I don't know, we'll see. And that's it for Asia. Last is Dinoland. Dinoland has the animal highlights are the American crocodile and the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Which we've seen the T-Rex, but I don't think we didn't see any
crocodile. We didn't see any crocodiles.
The croc is supposed to be right here in the middle.
We also didn't really go much around Dinoland except to meet the characters.
That's a valid point.
So, first is the Boneyard, which is the little child's area, which we're really excited to take Aiden to this time.
Yeah.
It's a little...
it's like a playground where he can dig and stuff like that, and now that he's up and moving and is able to do those kind of things, I'm really excited
really
for
fun. Yeah. Primeval World, we haven't done.
I kind of do want to try that. I just... it's been up and down and not really been working, and then it's like seasonally operating, and just haven't had the chance to do it.
Right. Restaurantosaurus.
Yep. Which is we ate there because that's a quick service.
Yeah, that might have been where we ate because there's yeah.
We've ate.
That's where we ate.
There. But you missed dinosaur.
Actually, a couple of no, I didn't. I just said dinosaur.
Did you?
Yeah.
I thought you said Triceratops.
No, I might have skipped it. So after Triceratops spin is dinosaur, which we do intend to do.
But it's height restricted, and so we'd have to
rider
swap. Yeah, rider switch, swap, whatever. And because of that, like we do some of the rides with rider switch, but it's just a little bit more time consuming, so we don't always.
Yeah. And then Restaurantosaurus, which we've eaten at before, was really good actually. And then Dinobite Snacks, which is snacks, obviously.
Which we've done too, because we've gotten ice cream.
Because that's the one that's attached to the Restaurantosaurus.
Yes.
But yeah, that was a kind of a look at some of the stuff that we have done and would like to do. Like I said, Animal Kingdom's not a park that we spend a whole lot of time in generally.
And you can kind of tell that just by like what we've done and what we haven't done. I feel like there's also just not a lot of things for us to do here.
Yeah.
Just because of height restrictions and just general time restrictions, because so much of it is timed by daylight. And
it is.
So we just haven't done a whole lot of it. But I'm hoping this next trip we can change that.
Hopefully.
Spend a little bit more time there. Just
even just to do a little more exploring, just to see if there's stuff that we actually could do. And
I just want to eat more stuff.
Yeah, that too. There's a lot of good restaurants there from what we have heard. So, but yeah. So next we will be moving on to Hollywood Studios. I don't think Hollywood Studios we will have to split up. That one will probably be pretty easy.
It'll be super quick because there's so much of that we have not done. We just don't spend very much time in Hollywood Studios. It'll be super quick, honestly.
Yeah. But then after that we'll move on to Epcot, which we'll have to split up. And then Magic Kingdom, which will definitely have to be split up. So, yeah, that was a look at Animal Kingdom and kind of stuff, some of the stuff that we like to do. So, next week we'll get into Hollywood Studios and we'll kind of look at some of the stuff we like to do there. So, until next time, don't forget
to thank the Phoenicians.